Collagen has become a very popular topic of conversation recently. You see various drinks, topical creams, and powders everywhere. Yet here's the vital detail that most people overlook. One cannot simply consume collagen and expect the body to absorb it intact. Your system must first dismantle it and subsequently reconstruct it. To achieve this, you require specific amino acids, along with the correct cofactors, supportive nutrients, and the proper physiological environment. You certainly cannot construct a house without having bricks. In the same way, you cannot build collagen without the raw materials and the tools your body demands. Greetings to all health champions. In this session, we will discuss the 10 best foods that bolster your body's natural collagen generation. Some of these items might actually surprise you with their efficacy. Let us first define what collagen actually is. It stands as the most plentiful protein found within the human body. Think of it as the biological adhesive that binds our physical structure together. Collagen comprises the majority of what is known as connective tissue. Consequently, it serves as the primary construction material for skin, skeletal bones, muscles, joint structures, and even the gut lining. This implies that a deficiency in collagen production can result in various health issues. You might experience wrinkles or slow wound healing, alongside joint discomfort and intestinal permeability, which triggers inflammation. These systemic issues can eventually lead to autoimmune conditions and other persistent troubles. I have both positive and negative news to share with you today. We shall begin with the unfortunate facts before moving on to the encouraging solutions. The bad news is that between the ages of 20 and 25, you are at your absolute peak for creating collagen. Your production levels are at the highest they will ever be, sitting at 100%. However, for many individuals, by the time they reach age 40, production may have dropped to half of its peak value. By the time you reach 60 and beyond, it could plummet to as low as 25% of your maximum capacity. This means that some 40-year-olds have lost half their ability to make collagen. Some people over 60 may have lost 3/4 of their collagen production capacity. The question now arises as to why we lose so much. We must ask if this decline is truly necessary. If you speak to most mainstream physicians, they often confuse average occurrences with what is normal. They mistake common ailments for how the body is supposed to function. Many of them will tell you that this decline is inevitable. They claim it is simply one of those things that fade with age and is part of normal aging. What they fail to mention is that many symptoms we attribute to aging are actually due to lifestyle. It is often a result of nutritional deficiencies and physical disuse. Therefore, aging is not entirely unavoidable. Nature will take its course, but there is much we can do to decelerate it. Here are the actual factors that destroy collagen. We will begin with aging because we have already mentioned it. I view it as a minor factor because you cannot do much about the passage of time. However, the rest are factors you can change, and they influence your production significantly. These damaging factors include sugar, carbohydrates, and chronic inflammation. Nothing breaks down collagen as rapidly as high blood sugar and systemic inflammation. Smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, and environmental toxins will also destroy collagen and interfere with your body's ability to create it. Chronic stress and poor sleep patterns will also hinder collagen maintenance. Nutritional deficiencies also play a role because you cannot make it without the right raw materials. Lack of exercise and mechanical stimulation is another major issue. Even simple stretching and moving the skin contributes to production. Regarding bones and joints, you must perform weight-bearing exercises. That provides the reason for the body to strengthen the bones. The protein found in bones is, of course, collagen. Ultraviolet light also breaks down the collagen found in the skin. When it comes to physical appearance, as much as 90% of age-related skin damage is due to UV light. Now we move on to the good news. If you improve your lifestyle by avoiding the damaging factors we discussed, and by eating the right foods, you can restore much of that lost ability. Regardless of your age, you can restore about half of what you had lost. If you are in your 40s, you could actually get back from 50% up to about 75% of your full capacity. If you are in your 60s, you could go from 25% all the way up to roughly 62%. The first food we often hear about is bone broth. It is a perfect example because it contains plenty of collagen. It includes type 1, 2, and 3, supporting a variety of tissues. It also contains gelatin and glycine, which is the primary amino acid and building block in collagen. It also contains calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, which are important coactors. When you prepare it, making it yourself is always better than buying store-bought versions. Grass-fed sources will have much higher nutrient density. If you pressure cook it, you will extract far more nutrients than if you use a slow cooker. In just a few hours of pressure cooking, you can extract more nutrients than you could in a few days of slow cooking. Number 2 on our list is chicken skin. Just as with beef bone broth, you can cook this down to make a broth using the bones as well. If you use the thighs, you get more of types 1 and 3. If you use the wings, you get more of type 2. Using both provides a broader combination of nutrients. It is unfortunate that we have developed a fear of fat and calories, leading us to eat skinless chicken for so long. The skin actually contains many beneficial nutrients. However, grilling the chicken with the skin changes things. The harder you grill it, the more you break down the collagen, leaving less available for absorption. The reality is that you are not absorbing the collagen as an entire molecule. You are digesting it and breaking it down first. The amino acids in the collagen are very stable building blocks. You could actually rebuild them into collagen regardless. However, it will be much harder to rebuild if you grill it and break it down because it creates more work for the body. The body will expend more resources and energy to process it. It will produce some inflammatory byproducts and advanced glycation end products, costing your body antioxidants to remake it. It will not be as available, but it is not completely lost either. There is a huge difference based on whether you are eating whole foods and are generally healthy. If you have low inflammation, you will be much better at rebuilding it from grilled skin than if you are inflamed and insulin resistant. Food number 3 is beef. Here you want to select the cuts that have high connective tissue content. These are basically going to be tough meats unless you cook them properly. We are talking about chuck roast, shank, oxtail, and ribs. Obviously, you are going to cook the meats, but these require slow cooking for a long time until they are fall off the bone tender. This tenderness means they have softened and released the collagen and gelatin, making it available for you. If you find grass-fed beef, that is always going to be better because these cuts are relatively high in fat. You want to ensure the fat they contain is the best possible quality. Grass-fed beef will have about an equal ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids. Grain-fed beef could have as much as a 20-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. Higher omega-6 levels mean the food is more inflammatory. These meats are the ones that are really tough unless you cook them for a long time. That makes sense because your body uses collagen for connective tissue to hold things together, like the tough, sinewy parts. The same principle holds true for the beef. If it is tough, you simply have to cook it longer to release that collagen. Number 4 is sardines. These should be sardines that include the skin and the bones. They are tiny enough that you do not really notice them, but the skin and bones contain the collagen. Sardines are one of the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. Your body needs these to create all sorts of essential components. They are precursors for hormones and serve as signaling molecules. They help balance inflammation and perform other vital functions. Foods rich in these omega-3s tend to help the body reduce inflammation. Since inflammation is one of the things that destroys collagen, reducing inflammation reduces collagen breakdown. So far, we have discussed foods that already contain pre-made complete collagen. These foods are rich in collagen and are animal-based because animals use collagen to build structural components just like humans do. Next, we will talk about other foods that can also be helpful even though they do not have preformed collagen in them. These can be both animal and plant-based foods. These foods are helpful because they contain amino acids that your body uses to make collagen. They could have other coactors that are critical for production. They could also be something that stimulates the production of collagen or protects existing collagen from breakdown. We must understand how the body makes collagen. First, you cannot absorb collagen in its original form because it is an enormous molecule. It is built as a triple helix. This means it is like 3 long chains wound around each other. Each of these 3 chains will have somewhere around 1,000 amino acids. Imagine a huge tree branch where each leaf is an amino acid and the entire branch is one of these chains. We twist them all together to form this triple helix. Your body can only allow very small pieces to enter the bloodstream. The largest thing we can absorb is just a few of these amino acids combined. We digest these proteins and break them down into individual amino acids or peptides. This means there are 2 or 3 amino acids linked together. Those are basically the largest pieces that we can absorb. These small broken down pieces become both raw materials for building collagen and signaling molecules. If a molecule used to be collagen, it has signaling properties that tell the body to reassemble it. Food can also be beneficial if it contains a coactor necessary for the body to make collagen. One of the most important is vitamin C. It is an essential coactor because we cannot assemble this protein without it. We also need enzymes to put it together. We need zinc and copper to activate some of those enzymes. The two most prevalent amino acids are glycine and proline. They act as the main building materials. We also need sulfur compounds to cross-link these long chains to each other. They need to cross-link to be stable and hold together firmly. I put deep sleep as a coactor here to emphasize its importance. During the early sleeping hours, we make most of our growth hormone. It is during this phase of sleep that we actually manufacture most of our collagen. If we do not get proper sleep, we may suffer in producing it. Food number 5 is eggs. Even though eggs do not have any collagen per se, they are very rich in glycine and proline. These are the two main amino acids we need to make collagen. Eggs also contain sulfur compounds that we need for cross-linking. Remember that we need to tie these strands together for stability. Sulfur comes in handy for that purpose. The sulfur is also going to support liver detoxification. Overall, this helps our tissue repair mechanisms. Number 6 is vitamin C and the foods that contain it. Classically, we think about citrus fruits like lemons, oranges, and grapefruits. However, we also want to think about vegetables which can actually have more vitamin C, such as bell peppers, broccoli, and cabbage. There is basically no fruit or vegetable that does not have a fair amount of vitamin C. Vitamin C is absolutely required for collagen synthesis. To really understand the importance here, you want to think about scurvy. This used to be a disease that killed sailors who went to sea for months without vitamin C. What happened was their collagen would break down, and they could not make any new tissue. Their connective tissue degraded, their joints fell apart, and their teeth fell out. They had bleeding gums and eventually would die because the structure of the body fell apart. Food number 7 is berries. The classic ones are blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. Most of the berries you can find are going to be great. They have similar properties, but these are the ones we find most commonly. Of course, they contain vitamin C, as we just discussed. They also have antioxidants called polyphenols. These are very powerful compounds that will help protect collagen from degrading. Polyphenols also act as food for your gut bacteria. They promote your gut health and bacterial diversity. Food number 8 is garlic. Besides being delicious and having benefits for inflammation, it helps collagen by providing sulfur, lipoic acid, and taurine. All of these will help collagen in terms of supporting cross-linking and stability. With greater stability, we experience less breakdown. Number 9 is green foods. We start with leafy greens such as spinach, kale, collards, arugula, and parsley. Anything that is deep green will have chlorophyll in it. Research suggests that it may increase procollagen, that is, the preformed collagen ready to be distributed around the body. It has a little attachment that helps it move without sticking to things. Chlorophyll is beneficial, and anything deep green will contain it. Leafy greens also have vitamin C and antioxidants. There are other green substances, and one is called spirulina. It is a very ancient cyanobacterium. It is a cross between plant and animal properties, and is one of the oldest organisms we know. It is very high in protein, especially glycine, which is the #1 component of collagen. It also contains iron and copper that help activate enzymes for cross-linking. Overall, spirulina will help the body build collagen. There is a similar substance called chlorella that is not quite as old. It is a little more plant-like in nature. It contains chlorophyll, vitamin C, and other detoxifiers. Overall, chlorella helps protect collagen, whereas spirulina helps build it. Food number 10 is avocado. No video would be complete without mentioning avocado. I put this on the top 10 list even though it has no collagen because it optimizes the conditions for making it. Avocados are very rich in monounsaturated fatty acids, just like olives. That helps reduce collagen breakdown in the body. In the skin, it helps protect against dryness. System-wide, it helps reduce inflammation in the body. It is a rich source of vitamin E, which helps prevent oxidative damage. It also has plenty of vitamin C and B vitamins for tissue repair. Avocado is a tremendously rich source of fiber, especially soluble fiber that supports a healthy gut. If you have a healthy gut, you have less leakage and fewer food sensitivities. You will have less inflammation overall. It creates a much better condition to prevent the breakdown of collagen. Even though collagen gets attention for skin and wrinkles, we must understand there is more to it than just appearance. It is a whole lifestyle, as we have discussed. It affects bones, muscles, joints, and the gut. In terms of lifestyle, you could supplement with powder or eat rich foods. However, you want to fill in all the different aspects to get the complete picture. You do not want to waste money on a supplement while missing the other parts. You must make sure to get vitamin C so you can synthesize collagen. You want to make sure you get deep sleep in the early part of the night for growth hormone. You want to avoid excess UV light, though we are made to be in the sun. We have pigment and defense mechanisms, but we do not want to get burned. The sun is good for us as we make vitamin D from it. It stimulates our hormones and endocrine system, provided we avoid the excess. Most people do not think of meditation as a way of making more collagen. If you are relaxed and have less stress, you make less cortisol, which is destructive to collagen. You want to make sure your gut is working properly. You want to get regular exercise with dynamic movements and weight-bearing activities. The number one thing you can do is to stabilize your blood sugar. Your fasting blood glucose should be in the 80s. Your 3-month average for glucose ideally should be at 5.3 or lower. If you want to master health, make sure you follow these guidelines.